Hey everyone, welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Cela, and it's Monday, September 30th, which means we're gearing up for another action-packed week in the markets. Today, we're talking about some big events to watch out for, from the latest U.S. jobs report to remarks from Fed Chair Powell. So, lots to cover. Before we get started, just a quick reminder. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. They're your go-to provider for personalized investment solutions and mutual funds. For more details, visit amf-capital.de. All right, let's dive into the key event everyone will be watching this week, the U.S. jobs report, which is coming out on Friday. So, the big deal here is that the labor market is still front and center for the Fed as they continue cutting rates. Investors are expecting the U.S. economy to have added around 144,000 jobs in October. And here's the thing. If the data shows weaker job growth, it could fuel recession worries. But if it's too strong, then the Fed might not cut rates as aggressively as people are hoping for. So, it's a bit of a balancing act. Now, ahead of the jobs report, we've got Fed Chair Powell speaking later today. He's addressing the National Association for Business Economics, and honestly, everyone's going to be listening closely to what he says about the economy. Powell's likely to echo what he said in his press conference after the big 50 basis point rate cut earlier this month, how the Fed feels a little more confident about inflation and the risks to the labor market. But of course, we'll be looking for any new clues on how quickly they'll continue to cut rates. Also, keep an eye out for comments from other Fed officials like Bostic and Bowman this week. Their perspectives could add some color to the whole rate-cutting picture. So, we're kicking off the final quarter of 2024. And after a roller coaster summer, there's still a lot going on. August was all over the place. Yen volatility, tech stocks taking a hit, and recession fears bubbling up. Since then, stocks have rallied to new highs, and we've seen some interesting moves in oil and global borrowing costs. Looking ahead, the U.S. election in November is likely to bring even more volatility, so buckle up for what could be an eventful few months. On the other side of the pond, we've got Eurozone inflation data coming out tomorrow. This will be closely watched by European central bank officials, especially since there's a growing debate over whether they'll cut rates again in October. Finally, let's talk about oil. Last week, oil prices settled higher on Friday but still fell for the week. Brent crude was down around 3%, and U.S. crude futures dropped by about 5%. China's fresh stimulus aimed at boosting its economy is one reason oil prices might stabilize. But there's also this oversupply concern with OPEC+ planning to ramp up production starting in December. Throw in ongoing tensions in the Middle East, and oil markets could be in for more volatility. Energy traders will definitely be keeping an eye on labor market data this week, since rate cuts typically spur economic activity, and with that, energy demand. So, any surprises here could ripple through the oil market. And that's your market rundown for the week ahead. We've got plenty to watch with the jobs report, Powell's comments, and some key data points that could stir things up as we head into Q4. Thanks for tuning in to Capital Markets Quickie. Don't forget to check out our sponsor AMF Capital for all your investment needs. And as always, stay informed and stay sharp. I'll catch you next time.